Hey, Sylvia.
Hey.
I'll go ahead and record it. And I will share my screen. And you're not seeing anything of any importance right now until now. Can you see Thursdays in the workshop?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for joining myself and Rich today for Thursdays in the workshop, where we're going to focus on creating quizzes in Brightspace. And my name is Kate Hoof, and I'm the instructional designer at Shepherd. And what that means is that I can help you with all things building online courses, or even with pedagogy for face-to-face or online, any modality. I have over 28 years of experience teaching high school, online, face-to-face, as well as higher ed. And so that's my job, is to support you in designing and building your courses. Rich is here, and he is our instructional technologist, and he is all things technology. And I'm jumping into his lane as we roll out this huge transition on campus. But you know, he's the guy, and he's the Brightspace go-to. I'm just helping out during this transition. But we will both support you in any way that we can. And we also thank you for your time today in helping the campus transition to a new LMS. It's a big change. So thank you for doing your part and your participation in that. Today. So today we are going to start out with just some brief announcements dealing with communication and where you can find information. Should give you a quick review of what you're looking at in Brightspace. We will we'll talk about the question library. You will be able to build a quiz, and we'll talk about some restrictions and how to attach it to a gradebook item. At any time, if you want to ask questions, you can put them in the chat, and Rich is monitoring the chat. Also, feel free to just stop me at any time and say, I have a question. It's really informal. If you have to jump off the call for any reason, not a problem at all. We're not offended. We know that you're busy, and we just appreciate whatever time you have to give. Okay. So just a couple of announcements about the Brightspace training and where you can find things from here. The training that I used for this particular training, I looked at the videos that are listed underneath the subscription training. And if you go to, and I will put this link in the chat for this. Has anyone here tried the subscription training, or do you know about it? Okay, the link is in the chat, and what it is, once you access it, you would use this link and create a new account. Unfortunately, your Brightspace credentials that will get you into the actual LMS is separate from accessing this training. They're just two separate entities, although they're both produced by the company, the parent company of Brightspace, which is called D2L. But that link, once you create a new account, you'll go to that link and you'll click on this subscription training, this blue box. And once you click on that, it will ask you to create a new account and use your Shepherd email address, and then create a new password, whatever that is. And then that will get you into the subscription training. And there's a higher ed playlist in here that you can access. And in that higher ed playlist, if you would just look to the left over here in this column, it covers everything on how to do everything within Brightspace. So what I use today, and if you want to go back and go to the source, I looked at the beginner build quizzes with commonly used questions, as well as there'll be a little bit of some intermediate content. But every topic that you see in here will have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced component to it. I recommend, just as you're learning Brightspace, don't feel the pressure to do beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Just get an overview, use the beginner, start to learn, and then you can just add on to your skill set as you go in Brightspace. You can certainly build a course and teach a course with all the beginner tutorials. You really can. And then once you get to use it, just build on your skill set from there. Okay. And so that's a subscription training. It's very good. And each video is anywhere between 10 minutes and 15 minutes long. I did see one that was 20 minutes today. So it just depends. But if you speed them up and listen to them at twice the speed, it's, it cuts the time in half. So that's really good. The other place that I want to draw your attention to is our CTL. Sorry, I'm jumping all around here. But we have a CTL YouTube channel where Rich and I are putting tutorial videos up here. And so I'll put that link in the chat as well. And you can subscribe to this chat. We have different playlists. And so this is where you'll see the Thursdays and the workshop recordings. You'll also see different Brightspace tutorials here. Okay. So that's all here. Okay, on the CTL YouTube channel. And then the last place where we're putting a lot of information is, let me go to the Shepherd University webpage. We do have a Brightspace. If you go to the CTL website, we do have Brightspace info here. Okay. And you can direct your students. We have a Brightspace page for students, okay? And then we also have one for instructors. And here you can scroll through, but we have some information. We'll update the information as it goes, but there are some 10 tips for getting started with Brightspace. This is also, we are generating PDFs, just hands-on instructions for some basic things to do in Brightspace. And so you will also be able to find those PDFs and training opportunities. There's the link to the subscription training. You'll be able to find all of that here on the Brightspace for Instructors webpage. So we will be adding PDFs just so you can have a list of print something out or just look at a list of instructions if videos are not your thing, or if you want to see it and read it. We want to give you as many options as possible. And lastly, the other place that we go to, let me go back to our website, is on Teams. And to access Teams, or the Brightspace team, we did place everyone in the Brightspace team across campus. Not we, Rich actually did that. And to access that, when you go to that selector here up in the top left-hand corner after you select your email, you can choose Teams, and it's the purple icon here. And if you're unfamiliar with Teams, it works just like Facebook. I mean, I'm not saying it's like Facebook, but it does work just like Facebook in that it's just a scroll of content. And so the oldest content will be at the top. But you can type in new messages, and actually this is a chat that I've been having with Rachel Haley, but so you can chat with different colleagues. But when you go to the left-hand side, you can click on Teams, and then you will see a listing of all the teams that you're included in. And maybe you just see one team. Let me get the chat out of the way here. And so you would click on Brightspace. And so when we refer to, it's in the Brightspace team, this is another place where you can look for information. So if you click on General here, Rich and I post our recordings to the Brightspace team as well. We'll also post announcements here. You can see that those training options, I did list these links here as well. And so if you know that that Microsoft Teams just simply works just like Facebook does, I think that can make it a little bit easier for you. It's just scrolling content. One last thing, not to overload you. If you look here at the top in the menu, you see posts, which is that Facebook-like scroll or feed. And then there are also files. We will also post PDFs of how-tos in the files section here on Teams. Okay. Are there any questions about Brightspace Teams or the YouTube channel or the website or how we're posting information, communicating?
it's nice to see everything up on the website now. And the quick link to Brightspace is great. Thank y'all.
Yes, that was, yes, University Communications put that up there. And so that was really nice. I'll bring it back up here to show you what Sylvia is talking about. So this is also helpful for your students too. Please help us communicate to students that, you know, they can still access the quick link to Sakai, but this is also where they can and where you can access Brightspace. Okay, so these quick links are great. Okay, so let's go ahead and the objectives for today. By the end of today's session, you will be able to build a basic quiz. You'll be able to use the question library and add content to the question library. You'll be able to add a quiz to your content or to a module if you use modules. And you'll be able to connect that grade item to your grade book. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and get started with that. If you'd like to follow along, I would encourage you to do so. To go to, you can use the quick link off of the Shepherd website, or you can go to brightspace.shepherd.edu, and that's brightspace.shepherd.edu. And just as a brief review, what are you looking at? I know that I see some new faces in here, and I see some people who have taken other trainings. And so I just want to give you a quick review of what you're looking at. When you log in and you log in with your full Shepherd email address, as well as your email password. And once you log in, you will land on the Shepherd University homepage. And this is what students will see. This is what you will see. This is campus-wide. This is just the homepage for the entire university. And right now we have some training information, and it's simply the homepage for the whole thing. You will see a list of the courses that you're teaching or projects that you're involved in this box here. If you scroll down a little bit, that's what you're seeing. See some announcements to the right. See a welcome area here. Each of these areas are called widgets. And then there's also a course selector here at the top where it looks like the 9-dot waffle, and that's a course selector. Okay. So you would select that, and then you would see a running list of courses or projects that are tied to your name in some way. Okay, so I'm going to go to my sandbox, and everybody should have a sandbox, and you're welcome to build a new quiz in your sandbox. You're also welcome to build a new quiz in any of the courses that are listed underneath your name. And the sandbox is just that. It's meant to be a place to play, basically to experiment with Brightspace, and you can build anything in here, and you can import it into a real course if you like what you built. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the nav bar, and the navigation bar, or nav bar for short, is just at the top of the screen. And for the fall semester, this will be the same for everybody, just so it's consistent for everyone across the board. Okay. We're looking at having professors be able to change and make their nav bar unique. You're able to do this in Sakai. And once everyone is used to Brightspace and uses it for a semester, we expect that you'll be able to make adjustments to the nav bar that are specific to your class. We're not going to worry about that for right now, though, okay? We're going to go to quizzes, and that is located in the nav bar, right? You can also find all of these tools, and this is what they are, they're tools underneath course tools, and you can access it from quizzes. So for example, later on, if you decide not to have quizzes visible in your nav bar, you can always access it in any of the tools from course tools. Okay, so each of these is considered a tool. We're going to click on quizzes, or the quiz tool. So what you see up at the top here, we have managed quizzes, question library, and statistics. Statistics is beyond the scope of today's presentation, but we're going to focus on managed quizzes in the question library. And just to break this down a little bit, manage quizzes, you can certainly, this is the item that I'm in now, and I can build a new quiz right from here. If I want to provide or build a new true and false quiz, I could quickly go in and do that, and boom, 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 and it's done. And I will show you how to do that in just a second. What the question library is a place for you to either import existing questions or to create new questions. And a lot of this work is up front, but let's say you have all these questions that you would like to plug in, perhaps for the first half of your course, or for the first week in your course, or for the first 3 units of your course. You can add a bunch of questions to the library. And then when you go to create a quiz, you can pull questions from the question library. Okay, so the numbers of questions that you can have in the question library is unlimited, and you can create new questions or input or import questions. So that's what we're going to talk about first. So this is going to be the recommended workflow if you do decide to use a question library, and the question library will be there for you to use for any semester. Okay, we are going to create a new, we're going to add questions to our question library. And when I click on the drop down, also called a chevron in some videos that I've watched, I can see all the different kinds of questions that I can create inside the question library. So we obviously have true false questions, we have multiple choice questions, but I also want to draw your attention. You can also create a quiz, but it's really a type of survey. You see Likert questions down at the bottom, but you can only use Likert questions, I believe, for surveys. And there's a survey item that you can choose within your course. But there are Likert questions here, which is great. There are different things for math professors here. And so these are just all the kinds of things that you can do. I want you to know, and you'll be happy to know, that Brightspace does grade everything except for it's not going to touch Likert questions, I don't think. And then it also doesn't touch the short answer questions. Actually, sorry, the written response questions, the long form, where if you want students to, it will allow short answer automatic grading, but not the written response questions. Okay, the long answers. So you are stuck grading those essay questions, in other words, okay? But it will grade every part of the quiz with the exception of that question, right? If you have multiple kinds of questions in there, okay? So what section is that you can divide your question library into a variety of sections, okay? And so let's say if you're teaching English 101 and you have a section, or a literature 101 class, or whatever it is, you have a section on perhaps this particular novel and this particular novel and this short story. Like each unit or theme, or even each week, could be a different section. However you want to organize your quizzes, that's what the section is for. By week, by chapter, by theme, however you want to organize it, it's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and create a section now. And I see that there's an added number in the chat. Do we have any questions that anyone would like to ask?
We were just going over what a Likert question was.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I have Google. I'm so sorry. I should have just Googled it before I asked the question.
Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah, we want to make it easy for you. So whatever, you know, Rich is better than Google, I think. So.
Well, I didn't know when I first learned this what that was either, but now I'm like, oh, okay, it's for surveys. And
yeah, you totally know what they are. They're just because you've seen them and you've taken the survey, right?
Yeah.
But it's just sort of a rating scale. So when I go ahead and click new section, I'm going to go ahead and name it. These are all the past trainings and the different sections that I've had. But I'll just go ahead. Let's say I'm, you know, I'll name it by week, okay? And I can have a section title. I can provide any type of description if I want. It's not necessarily necessary. I can hide the section from learners and just have it for my own use. I can decide to shuffle questions within the section. And so that just means when you're building when you're building quizzes, you can have, every student would have a shuffled quiz. So it's not the same, number one is not the same across the board, okay? So I have a section titled Week 1, and I will go ahead and click Save, or I could, click on the chevron and save and new, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and click Save, and I have a Week 1 section. And if I created more sections, I could certainly go throughout my course, depending on how you want to organize your time. And again, with any LMS, all the building and all the work is up front, right? You're building this entire thing. And so you could certainly build your all of your quizzes and exams, tests, whatever it is, for the semester here. And so you could certainly have Week 2 quiz, Week 3, Week 4, and again, these are just sections. You can also just have one section for your entire course. It doesn't matter, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just click on Week 1, and if you're following with me, go ahead and do that, Week 1. And so any question that I create in here will appear in the Week 1 section, okay? So underneath Week 1, you will see new, and let's just go ahead with a true false question. So we're going to create a true false question, and I have preloaded some text here. I found some good trivia, so I'm just going to copy and paste. So the type is true false. The answer to this is actually true. I can put in the number of points that it's worth. And as I build this quiz, what you'll notice to the right is that you can see a preview of what that question will look like. And let me go ahead and add punctuation. That would be wise. We have some options here. You can, when you click on this box up here to the right where it says options, you can add feedback. You can add a hint if you want. You could add a short description, add enumeration. So you do have some options with that. And when I click inside this text box, there are also options here, okay? And this button is called Insert Stuff. And the kinds of stuff that you can insert, it's a lot. And whenever you see within Brightspace, no matter what you're building, whether it's a module or anytime when you have an HTML editor where you're typing in text, you can add a video note, for example. So if you want students to view a brief video or you want to provide a video explanation, that's what video note does. So you could add that. If there's a file on your computer that you want them to review to answer this question, you can do that. If there's a YouTube video, et cetera, any type of link, you can add anything that they would need to answer that question. You can add by clicking on Insert Stuff. Maybe you want to add some other type of file. Perhaps you want them, if you're teaching art or teaching graphic design or something, and you want to post an image, you can certainly do that with either of these tools here. We have some math functions here as well. Okay, so that's whenever you see this HTML box. We're going to do save and new. Let's add another question. Okay, I have some other trivia here. I will copy and paste. Okay, that answer is true as well. I just keep it easy. And I'm going to do one more. Let's do save and new. And let's do a written response answer. Okay, so where I change that, I can choose any type of question here that I want. And remember, I'm in my week 1 section. And I'm going to do a written response. I'm going to go back out to my document and have a written response question. I can put in a key here, an answer here if I want. Oh no, actually, sorry, that's what I'm wrong. Don't listen to me. This is just showing you what students will see. Remember, this is the preview over to the right. And then let's just add one more question. Save and new. Let's add a multiple choice so you can see what that looks like.
Do you do one with a YouTube link in it? When I tried to do it, it has like you have to do a search, and I wasn't sure if you have to search for the URL or if you're just searching for a subject or if you're searching for the title of the video.
Yeah, I know what you're, yeah. What I realized with that is, let me do this one and then I'll show
Sorry,
you.
sorry.
Oh, no, no, don't apologize. No, it's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll add it to this question. Okay. So I'll do multiple choice. And what I found, I haven't been able to always get this to work. I know that's not good news, but it does work. It's just a slight workaround. What I'll do is, let me go ahead and go to the CTL YouTube channel. So if I want a video from YouTube, let's say I want this one. Let me grab the, I think it's the same, but I'll copy the link. Okay. And I think that this should work. I would just use insert link, or I could use the embed code. Okay. And so that would work in the same way. Rich, are you trying to, is anybody trying to say something? That's not, okay.
Good. I do like the embed code myself.
Okay.
That
So
way, but you have to get a different link for that.
Yeah, I could do the insert here, and what the embed code is, the video, if you're not familiar, that's where the video actually shows up in the box. And so where you grab that on YouTube, and you may have seen it when I go to share, just click on embed, and it will be this, excuse me, you copy all of this from less than sign to greater than sign. And I'm just copying that code. And if I use the embed code, again, I clicked on insert stuff. And I hit the embed code. Okay. And next. And then it will be there and insert. Okay. So let's say this is about who developed, if you want to have a Jeopardy question where they go to the person in the field and they ask that question, you could certainly do something like this. You could record yourself, pop it on YouTube, and or actually a video note would be the best thing for that. So I do have some answers here. We have, oops, get to learn some vaccine trivia. It's so appropriate for our time in our pandemic here. We know he's the potato chip guy. Okay, and let's say I don't want, it automatically defaults to 4. Let's say I don't want 4. I can just X out and get rid of it. Okay, I think it's Edward Jenner who made that. So you can say randomize answer order if you want everything to be different for every student. Okay, and then you can say, how many points you want it to be. Again, you have these options up here. This is what it will look like over here to the right when students see it, and then click on save. Okay, after all that, you still haven't built a quiz. What you did was add to your question library, okay? So we have some questions inside our question library. Does anyone have any questions for me before we move on and build a quiz? Okay, so I'm going to just go back through the breadcrumbs. Oops. And actually, maybe I'll just click on quizzes again. That's what I'll do. So to get back to quizzes, I just clicked on the quiz tool just to get back to where I want it to get. Okay, I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but So now I can click on new quiz. So let's build an actual quiz. Okay. So I'm going to name this week 1 quiz. So you always have to name stuff in Brightspace, and that's no different for a quiz. You always have to name it. And this deals with the grade book. We'll get to that in just a second. Okay. We have quizzes empty. We can provide a description of the quiz if we want. We can allow hints or disable right click here. We can disable email, instant messages, and alerts within Brightspace. So you have some options there. Let's go ahead and add and edit questions. So this is where you would just add questions from the top, right? New question, you can create a section, you can create a question pool of things. But we want to import from the question library. So I'm going to browse my question library. So I'm choosing import, browse question library. And if I had multiple sections here, I would see them listed in this area. I'm going to click on this drop down and I can select 5 items for the quiz, or I can just select the ones that I want. Okay, so I'll go ahead and select them all. I'm going to use all of these. And then I will say import. Okay. And remember, I had said that for week 1, so, you know, the week 1 section that I didn't show that to students. I chose to turn that off for students. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my settings for the quiz because I want to make some settings up. Okay. Let me go ahead and go into restrictions. We have these tabs up at the top, and when I click on restrictions, I can put in a due date for when it's due, date and time. I can put in today as the start date, and I can put in an end date. And that end date can certainly be the due date. Those 2 things can match, okay? They don't have to match. Let's say you have a due date and you really want students to take it by the 22nd, but you know that some will be late and maybe you'll take off a couple of points for it being late. The end date is the date in which students can no longer access it. They can't take it. Okay, so whatever date you put here, they will no longer be able to take that quiz. Okay, so if you want the due date to be the absolute end date, that's cool. Then you just make those 2 the same. Okay. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Okay, so as we scroll down, I just want to point out some options that you have. Okay. You can create release conditions. And what release conditions are is saying to your students, all right, you can't take this quiz until you visit these areas in the content section, or maybe you can't take this quiz in week 3 until you take quiz 1 in week 1 and quiz 1 in week 2. Or maybe you can't take this quiz until you watch that video that I posted in the content section. Okay, so you can set release conditions up. And so that's where they are here. So it's underneath restrictions. It's right underneath the due dates. And it will be here when you go to it yourself. It's just in this list. You can create and attach. And so what comes up is this dialog box where you can see all the content, that all the different items that you can have them, that you can attach to taking this quiz. If you want them to visit a certain content topic that you've built in a module, you can certainly do that. If you want to make sure that they post it to a particular discussion first, you can have them do that. You could attach 1 condition. You could attach 50 conditions. It doesn't matter, okay? So if we go ahead and say, visited a content topic, then that's my one condition. And then I have some different things in here. So let's say I wanted them to, let's say this is a syllabus quiz, for example, and I want them to have looked at the syllabus before they take the quiz. That's probably the easiest example to give you, but that's just basically how it works. So if they're going to take a quiz on the syllabus, they got to read the syllabus first, right? So I tell it's a content topic. I click on which piece of content I want them to see or review, and then they create, and then I hit create. And again, I can attach as many different items to that release condition as I want. I can also remove them here, okay? With timing, I can provide a recommended time limit, or I can enforce a time limit. The recommended lets students keep going. The enforced time limit ends it. There will be warnings, or you could choose to show a clock, okay? You can also allow special access for students. So this is a really great feature for students who have accommodations in your class, or who, you know, perhaps they were absent and they need special access, but you close the quiz for others, but you can open it for them, that type of thing. So you have two choices here, and one is allow selected users special access to this quiz. And so that is doing just what it is. You can allow selected users certain kinds of access, and I'll select that in just a second. Then you have allow only users with special access to see this quiz. So maybe you want to give 3 or 4 students in your class, for whatever reason, a completely different quiz. Then you would select this piece, allow only users with the special access to see this quiz, okay? This is allowing selected users. It's open to everybody, but it's selected users will have special access. So perhaps there's additional time limits. You know, you can set, you know, if you say everyone has 120 minutes for the quiz, and I'm going to enforce that, but these 3 people will have special access, and you're going to have 200 minutes, and I'm not going to enforce the time limit. Okay, so that really helps with accommodations. You don't have to build out separate groups for your accommodations or anything like that. So it does make it easier. So let's see what this looks like. I'm going to add users to special access. And what this will bring up, this is where you can change the dates for that special access. Perhaps someone needs more time, okay? Maybe you don't want to give that person an end date, or maybe you want to extend the end date, but you didn't want to for the majority of the class. Maybe you allow, you know, 3 attempts instead of 1, right? And then once you provide, and then this is where timing is, recommended time limit or enforced time limit. And this is where you can change the minutes, okay? Then you have a list of your students, and you would just simply select the people who have that special access. Okay. Once you make those decisions, you click on add special access. I'm just going to hit cancel for right now. Okay. And that is under restrictions. Let's add it to the grade book. Okay, so what I clicked on was this tab here. And there are some questions with assessments that you might consider. Okay. And you can say allow attempt to be set as graded immediately upon completion. So if it's, you know, objective quiz and it can be automatically graded, it doesn't have any long answers, and students can see their grade automatically right when they complete it, no matter how many attempts, then you would check this box. Okay. This is also where you would add it to your grade book. Now, if you've had training on the gradebook, this will sound familiar to you. If you haven't had any training on the gradebook yet, just don't worry about this yet. Okay. I don't want to overwhelm you. It's fine. We can talk about this later when you do training on the gradebook. The workflow that I've recommended in that gradebook training is to create categories in your training in your gradebook. So you have categories maybe for quizzes, for papers is another category, projects maybe another category, participation maybe another category, and those things equal to 100. You know, you weight those things differently and you set up categories in your gradebook, right? I recommend that you create grade items as you create that assignment or that quiz that we're doing. Okay, so you can just don't worry about if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't be overwhelmed with it. Don't worry about it. Just know that when you're creating a quiz that you can attach it to your gradebook once it's set up. Okay, that's all you need to know right now. And this is where you do it. It's under assessment and you would just click on add grade item. And I can name it here. And you want to make sure it's named the same thing so you can copy and paste it. But I think I named this week 1 quiz. You can add a short name. I don't. You can see I have categories that I set up earlier when I was setting up a gradebook. So I don't have quizzes in here, but I'll just put it under assignments. Okay. And then I can put in maximum number of points. I can weight it if I want, but really the weight is in, I already set the weight up in the gradebook. So that's why it's grayed out. You can put in, it can exceed, or is it bonus? You have options for that. And then you can put in the start dates and end dates here if you want for the grade item. You don't have to do this here because you've already done it in restrictions, is my understanding. Okay. I'm going to hit save. And when I'm in grades, I will see a week 1 quiz item. It's in my grade book. Okay. I'm going to go back to my quiz tool. So now when I see a quiz, I have week 1 quiz. I see the dates. I see that I haven't made it visible yet. And in Brightspace, with quizzes, it defaults to not visible. You have to make it visible. This, the same is true, I believe, for assignments. So just know that you have to make these things visible. And then this icon here shows me that there's a release condition attached to it. So, you know, they had to go look at their syllabus before they could take this quiz. If I want to edit this quiz or to make it visible, and this is true if you want to edit anything within Brightspace, just click on that drop down beside the name of the thing that you want to edit. And you have the choice to edit it here. So you can open it back up and add questions or delete questions or whatever. You can also make it visible to users. Okay, so now that eyeball with the slash through it has gone away and it is visible to anyone in your class if the date, if it's released. So if I released it by today at 2:44, they will be able to see it. Okay, if it's not released until next week, they still can't see it because it's not released yet. Okay. So I have a quiz. So big deal. That's great. Good. Let's add it to our content. Okay. So what's content? Content is the heart and soul of your class. And depending on the modality, I mean, I'm a big fan of using an LMS like Brightspace to provide students with weekly modules. And whether you're teaching, and you may think I'm nuts and that's okay, and you may not agree, that's fine. But whether you're teaching face-to-face or whether you're teaching fully asynchronous, setting up a module or lessons by weeks, and modules are simply file folders of stuff. It's a way for you to organize your course. Where in week 1, even if you're in a face-to-face class, you could load in all of your materials for week 1. So students know week 1 it's there. This is what we did. Hey, I was absent last week. That was week 1. I can go here. This is where I can find my makeup work. This is where I can turn stuff in. You know, it can organize content for students based on week. You can also have a module, for example, of that's like your resources folder in Sakai, right? Where I just named the module, instead of naming it week 1, week 2, or lesson 1, lesson 2, etc. I just name it printable resources, where it's just all in there. When I was a student in an asynchronous program that I graduated from last year, so it's pretty recent, I enjoyed the organization both ways. You know, when I got down to week 10, I didn't remember where that handout was from week 2 that I wanted to review, right? So I did want that printable resource folder. When I knew what week it was in, I could just go to that week and find it quickly, as opposed to slogging through like 50 PDFs or something like that. So I think the more you can put, the more places you can put content in classes or links in classes, the better. Okay, so off the subject. So let's say I want to add this to week 2. Let's say, well, it's a week 1 quiz, so we'll add it to week 1. So what you're seeing in Brightspace, if you're not familiar, when students, or when you click on week 1, for example, they'll see a description, and you just click in this box if you want to add a description of that week's module. Okay. And then in the content tool, you use upload and create to add these different pieces of content. Okay. So I'm going to add a quiz. So they're going to go through Bloom's taxonomy. They're going to watch a PowerPoint. They're going to watch a video on YouTube. We're going to summarize, looking ahead. Okay. So I'm going to add an existing activity because we have created this quiz. So I'm going to click on that drop down, and I go to quizzes. You can also see that the same is true for assignments. The same is true for discussions. Okay. So I recommend the workflow where you build assignments, just like we build our quizzes. A lot of the stuff is the same, except for the question library. And the same thing is true for discussions. But we're going to add a quiz. So I click on quizzes. And I would see, if I had 50 quizzes here, I would see them all listed here. I could choose to create a new quiz at this point, but I don't need to because I have it. And I just added it. Okay. Now, I want the week 1 wrap up that I used in a previous training. I want my quiz to come ahead of that. So I just grab onto these, I can't really see. I think it's 8 dots. I'm going to grab onto it and I'm just going to move it. It's not letting me move it. There we go. So I can grab onto any of these dots and move things around as I want. So now I have my quiz. I don't have anyone who took the quiz, but in order to assess it, I can assess it from, let's see, if I go to my quiz tool, I can assess it from this drop down here, where, at least I thought that I could assess it from this drop down here. Rich, any ideas? Perhaps it's because I don't have anyone who has taken it yet. Let me go back into this. I'm so sorry.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's because I haven't had anyone take it yet. I know that you can, the word assess is typically in this list for assessment. So I will, on the recordings and in the Brightspace team, I will add a note to that to answer that question. Okay.
I've noticed sometimes in Brightspace, if something's not available, it just won't show up like it's not needed. That type of thing. So that makes sense.
But that's where you would look for it. If you watch any of the videos on the grade book and setting up your grade book, You can also get to all of the items that you need to assess or grade from the grade book as well. Okay, where you would just click on it and you can assess something from there and give it its grade. But all these are basically self-graded, with exception of the long answers. What questions do you have?
Oh, I have a question.
Sure.
So, I'm not going to have quizzes per se, but I do have these assignments. They're reading analyses or collaborative learning assignments. So they'll break out into groups and they'll have that assignment. It'll be the same assignment, but there'll be a group of say 4 each that they do that. And then they get 1 grade for their, assimilation of their ideas in that. So if I have a file already done and created, that is my collaborative learning exercise on something they would have prepared and they're ready to do something with, can I just have, it's already completed, can I upload that as a complete file and stick it in there in the quizzes? Can I put it there, or would I put it someplace else? What would I do with it? Or maybe it would be better for these collaborative learning exercises. They are kind of like quizzes, but not exactly. Maybe I should, just put them on a resources link or put them in the module where I'm going to use them or something like that.
I think, yeah, Sylvia, I think it would be, you can certainly create an assignment. If you want do you want students to turn that in to you?
Yeah, they'll give it to me. And what they usually do, so I don't know how it would be done here, is they'll talk about it, they'll have the breakout exercise, and then what they actually turn into me is one. There might have been 4 students working on it, but there's one that they'll turn in, all 4 names are on there, and they all get the same grade. So
Okay.
it's a way to get them collaborate on, say, a work of literature or whatever the project is, to really talk about it and they all have to have input and all that.
I think, and we can meet with this or meet about this, or it will be covered in future trainings, or I can send you targeted tutorials on how to do this. I don't think the quiz tool is the best tool to use.
That's kind of what I thought.
In
Yeah.
that case. Yeah, so I'll just confirm that. What I recommend is that I can send you a video, and I can also meet with you on how to create groups in Brightspace. And then you can assign, I would create an assignment first and foremost, and you can attach your assignment that you already have on your computer. If you have a Word document with the assignment, you can attach that assignment here. You can build it in here. And so if you did new assignment, and a lot of it works the same. I mean, you built a quiz, and this is an assignment is very much like a quiz. You name it, you give it a due date, you can add content here. You have this insert stuff button, right? So you can add your attachments or your links or your files. You can also record audio, and you can provide students with audio instructions. You can record a video, right? And so all that's great. You can add your attachment, a web link, an activity, something from your computer. Okay, so that would be the best way to do it. And then we can talk later on how to create groups, because the group thing will allow students in that group. You can say, all right, I want each member to turn in that assignment, or in your case, just one assignment, just one submission per group. And so the groups tool is really good, because it gives a group its own discussion board. It gives a group its own locker to share files if they want to do it like that. So I think you would enjoy the groups tool.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure.
Is there
Yes.
a way to import, because we all have quizzes already.
Yeah, you
Is
do.
there
Yeah.
a way to import a bank of questions, even if we were to have to manually manipulate the answers ourselves?
Yes. When we do, that's a good question. And Rich, I need your help on this, because
He just went to another meeting, I think.
Oh, did he?
And I'm
really?
happy to send him a separate email if I need to.
Oh yeah. Now I think you have to import when you upload a file. I think it has to be a CSV file. That's what I want it. So there's going to be, you know, I
What
wish
is
that
that?
you could, it's a math thing. Are there any math people in here? No, I say it's a math thing. It's an Excel file.
So I would have to copy and paste all of the questions of the quiz anyway to get it into.
Yeah. Give a trustworthy TA or grad student.
I'll get right on that.
You know, you want that person, because that is just grunt work, and there's something about grad students, they can just do it like that, right?
I'm on it.
But then you can save it or download it as a CSV file, and this is where you would pop it in.
Yeah. All right.
And then Brightspace will read it, and you have it there. And I wish I had better news. Other than, okay, so the other message I want to make sure that you knew, because it is frustrating and quite frankly, it's terrible. What we have learned with Brightspace is that Sakai, when they're migrating content from Sakai, quizzes, assignments, and discussions migrate really well. So we can do that, okay? And I can do that for you, or I have a PDF of how you can do that, okay? And that migrates really well. What does not migrate really well, and it creates a terrible mess, are if you have your lessons built out in Sakai, and that when it comes over to Brightspace and modules, you have every item is something new and different. And then, you know, there are items from, I was looking at one professor's course yesterday, and, you know, there were items from week 2 inside week 1, and it was all over the place. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, so just an FYI. But if you have those quizzes in Sakai, that could be a route too, to pop them in. Okay.
Also, did you choose your outfit to match your surroundings?
Oh.
Yeah, it works well.
Everything that's happening right now is super coordinated, and I'm really impressed.
Only an art major, a theater major would see.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. You know, I did. I really thought of it now. I did. This was this J. Crew on sale.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to bounce to another meeting as well.
Sure, of course.
But I appreciate it.
Sure,
Kelly,
thank you for your participation. So we have 2 minutes. Is there any other questions or?
No, it's all helpful. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it myself.
Good. Yeah. Please let me know if I am instructional designer. I can build classes. You know, I can help people in your department, or you build your classes. We can meet. You're the subject matter expert. I can plug it into Brightspace. So if there's anyone who is just like, oh, you know, like you have a pit in your stomach because of Brightspace, let me just remove that obstacle. And we can meet weekly. You give me your stuff. I will build it. You tell me, yes, that looks good. No, take that out. Just let me know. Okay. I'm happy to help in any way. Thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you.
And I'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.